Thank you. Good afternoon. With me, of course, is the President of our Board of Supervisors, Lyndon Breed, of course, Police Chief Bill Scott. Within the last hour, we have been notified by the Golden Gate Recreation Park, the National Park Service, that they have in fact issued a permit to Patriot Prayer for use of Crissy Field this Saturday at around 2 p.m. I remain deeply disappointed and opposed to the issuance of this permit. And while we have been engaged with the National Park Service, I have made sure that our police chief has asserted every and all public safety concerns that we have, including a very comprehensive list of weapons and items that should be banned if such a permit was issued. And while I remain opposed to this permit and all that it means, I also want to make sure our public is adequately prepared. We don't have jurisdiction over the National Park Service. They are issuing this on their own authority, but we are responsible and feel responsible for everybody's public safety, particularly residents of San Francisco. And so in inserting ourselves into the National Park Service's review process, we've made sure that a very comprehensive list of items that we've seen in other rallies and protests across this country be used as weapons be totally banned. And the higher level of security be respected. But more importantly, I ask our public and our residents of San Francisco Bay Area to honor our request to not dignify people who are coming in here under the guise of patriot and prayer words to really preach violence and hatred and incite violence. That is their purpose. We know that as a fact by simply watching how they've acted in other cities. And instead, if people feel the need to express their viewpoints, please come down here to City Hall on Friday at 12 noon. Join myself and President Breed and all the other elected officials and other labor leaders and religious leaders who wish that we would have our own voice of inclusion, of compassion, and of love rather than hate. We will have a similar event Saturday at Civic Center. And I ask that people avoid going to Crissy Field and engaging with members of Patriot Prayer, because that is precisely what they wish us to do. And I don't want to dignify their message of hate and their message of division in our city of love and compassion. This year continues to be the 50th anniversary of the Summer of Love. We are a city that welcomes diversity, respecting the histories of people who have suffered for many years. And we are, in fact, working to make advancements for those very people every single day that we work here at City Hall. This is not a welcomed permit by the National Park Service that they're issuing. We do not welcome this. And so we'll resist it in all the ways possible, and we'll make sure that we have venues for people who want to also join in a different message, a positive message of love and compassion, to be right here in Civic Center, right here at City Hall. With that, I will ask President Breed to make a few comments, and then Chief Scott to answer the questions you might have about how we're ready for Friday and Saturday at the entire weekend's events. President Breed.
Thank you. Clearly, we are at a day that we were hoping we would not be at, and with a decision that we all think is not in the best interest of San Francisco. But as a city, we are prepared to do what's necessary to keep the public safe. But more importantly, we are prepared as a city to come together in the spirit of unity. We are hosting a rally this Friday at 12 o'clock noon at Civic Center. It's not just your leaders, your elected leaders, but people from all walks of life will be at this rally. There'll be speeches, there'll be performances, and all of this is because we as a city have chosen to unite against hate, to push for love, to push for inclusiveness, to push for the things and the values that we as San Franciscans hold dear. We will not let this rally tear us apart. We will not let this rally destroy our city. We are prepared to do whatever it takes to flip the script, to do similarly to what they've done in Boston. They chose love. They chose to push and have a rally, and they brought out thousands, hundreds of thousands of people against hate in the spirit of love. We will do the same thing here at Civic Center. Come out and join us on Friday at 12 o'clock noon. Please, in the interest of public safety, we ask that you avoid the Crissy Field area. It is important that we don't dignify these people, as the mayor said, with a response by, answering their call. It is important that we do our own thing on our own terms in our city, that we take charge and we demonstrate what we are all about as a city of love, a city of inclusiveness, a city that is not going to let hate destroy us. We will be together and we will be stronger because of it, and we will not let these people tear our city apart. Again, I will say they are not welcome here because we know the spirit by which they bring to our city, and we will drown them out again with the spirit of love. We will continue to push hard for San Francisco and to bring everyone together. Please join us on Friday at 12 o'clock. It will be an amazing event with a lot of wonderful people, and we hope to see you all there.
Good morning. So I'm going to take any questions that you might have about public safety for Saturday.
Well, guns be allowed at Crissy Field for the National Park?
No.
Chief, can you outline the conditions of the permit? What are the conditions?
There's 26 conditions in all, and I have to say, with Mayor Lee's leadership, we've been very insistent, and the National Park Service has worked with us on these conditions, but there's 26 of them in all. They include no firearms, no aerosol pressurized canisters, no ammunition, no animals other than working service animals, backpacks and bags exceeding the size of restriction of 18 inches by 13 by 7 will be prohibited. No bicycles, balloons, coolers, drones, or other unmanned aircraft systems, explosives, no helmets, no glass, thermal, or metal containers, no laser pointers, no mace or pepper spray, no packages, no selfie sticks, no signs exceeding the size restriction of 24 by 36 by 1/4 of an inch, no structures, no supports for signs or placards, including sticks of any material, no toy guns, no weapons of any kind, no barbecue grills, open flames, propane tanks, tiki torches, no tents, canopies, or similar structures, no wagons or carts, or any other items determined to be potential safety hazards. And lastly, no liquids other than drinking water in factory-sealed clear plastic bottles. So those are the list of the restricted items.
You feel better about it with these?
Chief, I understand they're being escorted there. Is that true by police? The attendees, are they being escorted?
Well, no, San Francisco Police Department will not provide escorts for any of the attendees.
Is it going to be corralled? Are there going to be fences up?
The area will be secured. The area of protest will be secured.
Will there be metal detectors that people will have to go through, Chief, so you can find these?
Let him finish his question. We'll take your question next.
Will the area have metal detectors that people will have to walk through for the identity of these weapons, and who will be manning that, Park Police or you?
Persons will be screened before they will be allowed into the secured area. I won't get into the details of the tactics for obvious reasons, or not so obvious to some people out there. It won't be appropriate for us to talk about the details of the tactics, but just be assured that the secured areas, there will be checkpoints.
And metal detectors, or no?
Well, as far as the tactics and how we're going to screen for weapons, there will be checkpoints and we will screen for weapons.
Tell us about how many officers are you planning to
You will see a very, very large presence of officers at Crissy Field, as well as in other parts of the city, including the mayor mentioned the Civic Center. We're encouraging people to come out to the Civic Center and enjoy the festivities here. You will see officers in large numbers. And we have a whole city to be concerned about. So we are staffing up for that. Specific numbers, just be assured you'll see large amounts of officers.
Can you confirm that there's going to be officers that are not this weekend or not at the days?
That is correct.
Chief, I understand also that businesses in the Presidio, like House of Air across the street from the venue, are being told they have to close. Is that true?
Well, as a part of the safety plan, the businesses are not mandated to close. We're trying to work with businesses to create an environment that is the safest environment possible. So it's up to them as to whether or not they're going to close their businesses. We're not mandating. We can't force people to close. But we are trying to work with the businesses as well as the communities that are impacted by this event to work with us to be sensible about whatever it is that they decide to do, and so we can have a good safety plan.
This is coming from the Presidio Trust, which manages some of those businesses. They're telling them you have to close.
Well, you would have to ask the Presidio Trust that, but again, our whole goal is to provide safety for the people in our city, protect First Amendment rights, and make sure that people can enjoy themselves, express themselves in a safe manner. And that includes being safe from any violent activity.
Chief, there's some protesters that have said that they're going to come by water. Is there going to be enforcement out on the water as well?
You know, we are preparing for any possibilities that we can think of. So, you know, that area is surrounded by water, or at least there's water on one side of it. We'll be ready for that as well. And the bottom line is, I want to assure people that we are first and foremost here to provide public safety for a safe event. First and foremost.
Mayor, when they issued the permit, they said that it's safer to issue the permit for in terms of public safety. It's safer to issue the permit than deny it because people are going to show up anyway. What do you think about that argument in allowing this?
Well, that's a self-justifying argument. I remain opposed to the NPS issuing the permit in the first place. The fact that they had an invitation that they would allow that permit is what instigates all this other security to happen. By the way, it's on our dime in San Francisco. So that's why I don't appreciate that logic being the lead logic. That is a false logic. I will ask our media friends here today to please publish the conditions of this permit, because more people who know they cannot bring things that might be used would advantage us in keeping people safe. And I know the chief agrees with me on that. Yes, sir.
Merely to that point, selfie sticks, helmets, with oftentimes GoPro mounted with right. Some of the other ones I've heard are essential parts of their media, especially the backpack issue. And a large part of the motivation of this particular rally is their own vehicle. They want to broadcast to their followers and such. Was any consideration taken prohibiting items that are essential to their media distribution when these banned items are coming? If they can't broadcast themselves, if they can't see their media sphere, they're not as motivated to come out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say, and I'm hearing both Supervisor Green and I agree, and the chief agrees. First of all, we're not the permit issuers. So, no, we insisted on the highest level of public safety. And that's what I have my chief asserting in the strongest possible way. And as we watch other events happen across the country, these things were used as weapons, not just communication. So therefore, we will side on the highest level of safety and make sure all of these things on the list are banned.
A question for all three.
He's been waiting. He was up next. Bill.
Real quick, question for you. Are you satisfied with the conditions, Chief?
I think given the situation, we're doing the best we can. You know, we're doing the best we can. So given the situation, we have to make the best of what we have and provide for public safety. So I don't know if that answers your question, but we're doing the best we can.
Well, Chief, you demanded
This
that.
next tariff, will we be allowed to bring our cameras in? If we have big bulky cameras that, they can snatch out of our hands and use as weapons, we have these sticks
but obviously we want to cover it.
So we are making some plans to work with the media, the press on areas that are safe for you guys to do what you need to do your jobs. And we know that there is a need for people to get the information, but we want to do that also safely and thoughtfully. So we will work with you on that, and between Ms. Hussey and Director Stevenson, we're going to work with you all on that as well. But the bottom line is we want to ensure safety as much as we can do that.
And we don't want to see this rally get any attention in the first place.
Mayor, you demanded no weapons, and the Park Service followed through.
Cars and filling up all of Crissy Field, is that going to change how you approach this tactically?
Well, I've heard that as well. So, I mean, I don't know if that will come to fruition, but we are taking everything into consideration. So, if people try to do that or choose to do that, the bottom line on all of this and all the information that we're getting in is we have to weigh it, we have to react appropriately, and make sure that this event is as safe as we can make it for everybody involved. I know a lot of people have good intentions out there. Some of those good intentions don't necessarily equate to good common sense or good safety. So that's why we have to be there to kind of mitigate, communicate with people, make sure they know what we're asking them to do. And then for those that don't get it, or for those that are intent on being violent, there's no place for that, and we're not going to allow that. So that's kind of where we are.
We're going to go Joe, and then we're going to go Dan.
For all three of you, have you spoken with Mr. Gibson of Patriot Prayer? And if so, what did you discuss? And if not, why not?
We are not the permit issuers, as the mayor has stated, so Mr. Gibson is not speaking directly to us, and you would have to ask the National Park Service what those conversations are, if there were conversations, but that's not our role in this because we are not the permit issuer.
Mayor, you've demanded the no weapons, which the Park Service could have just ignored altogether. Are you feeling a little more at ease that they've put these conditions on, and do you think it will make a difference?
Listen, I'll be very candid with you. I demanded our chief, and he's done a good job in insisting the highest level of safety be had here. That doesn't calm my opposition to this permit one bit, nor does it make me easy. God pray nobody gets hurt on Friday or Saturday, because these people with hate-filled messages are coming in to our city to wreak havoc. So I will still say that it's the responsibility of us now that the permit is issued to bring to the public the highest level of safety, and not to second guess, but to be very deliberate about this. And that's why Supervisor Reed and I are insistent and asking, with all the humility and respect that we have for our people here who are quite intelligent, don't honor these people. Come to Civic Center, come to City Hall, do your thing here and be the people that you are. Don't engage these folks. There's always that chance that we don't know what will occur. And that chance will fall on violence when these people are around. Yes.
Two more questions there. Crissy, and then you.
Yeah, well, if I believed everything Mr. Gibson says, I don't think we would have had these very strong feelings about it. But we watch TV, we watch news reports, we are certainly scouring the internet to find out what had happened in places like Portland and Charlottesville. And they began by disguised words. In fact, I'm really insensitive to our interfaith council asking me deliberately, please explain to the public. We don't agree with these people using the words prayer and patriot. They're disguised words for this group because we saw their actions all across the country. The President of the United States has seen that action and refused to recognize it. So I say, let's be smart about this. Let's make sure that if we're imposed upon by the NPS for this permit, which we oppose, we're going to do our best to protect everybody. And let's divert our attention to the events that we feel reflect the values of the people in the city and the Bay Area region.
Crissy.
Have you, this is for the police chief, have you consulted with any other cities that have had these kind of rallies come in, whether it was like recently Boston or even Berkeley? Have you talked with those police departments?
Yes, the question was whether we have consulted with other police departments. Absolutely we have, nationally. Through the International Association of Chiefs of Police, we have consulted with, I would say, over 100 police departments. And that includes the ADL, American Defense League. And what we want to do here is take some of those practices that we see that are working in other parts of the country and employ them here to make this event as safe as we can make it and provide for the public safety of everybody. So we have consulted and we will continue to do that. This is evolution. I mean, we'll continue to do that before and after this event. If I could just emphasize one other thing too on the handguns. So the event's at Civic Center. There are no handguns allowed on city property, and that's been a long-standing municipal police code. So we just want to reemphasize that the events that happen in this city on city property, including our parks, the public should know that that has always been not allowable and will continue to be not allowable. So those same conditions apply for Civic Center Plaza. No handguns will be allowed.
This is the last question.
Thank you. I just want to clarify 3 things. The first is cameras will or will not be allowed. Second, are you saying that guns are allowed on federal property but not within this free speech zone? And you said you didn't want attention being drawn to this. If you can elaborate a little bit, why not?
That's 3 questions.
I know, I guess I'm most out of my money.
No guns will be allowed for this event within the permitted areas. We have not rewritten the Constitution or the law. The law is the law. But for this permitted area, there is a restriction on handguns.
But around the federally permitted area, they can bring guns, but not in the permitted.
No guns will be allowed in the permitted area. Let me just repeat that. No guns will be allowed in the permitted area. The law is the law. We haven't changed the law. That's our job to enforce the law and keep people safe. What we need the public to know is they will not be allowed to bring handguns into this area or any other area in the city that's city property.
And on cameras? Will cameras like this one be allowed?
Well, we will have spaces for the media, and we want, again, work with Ms. Hussey and Director Stevenson. We will have media spaces, but we want to make sure that you guys are safe as well as us. You guys have First Amendment rights as well, and definitely you have the right to cover newsworthy events. So we just want to make sure that we do what we can to offer suggestions to do that safely.
And I'll wrap it up. I don't want to see the attention, the media attention, continue to focus on these rallies where sadly we have seen violence. I want to see the media attention focused on the peaceful demonstrations that we're going to have at Civic Center. Let's show the country how San Francisco does it. We bring people together, we push for peace, we push for love. I want to see more images of that nature in our media because these images continue to tear our country apart and they're not good to continue to support because clearly they want the support, they want the media attention. They want all eyes on them, which is why they're doing what they're doing in the first place. Let's show them something different is why I said let's not waste our time giving them the attention that they don't deserve.
Let me add to that wrap up. Let me say today, I just want to say thank you to every police officer, every firefighter, every sheriff, every highway patrol, every 911 caller and dispatcher, every person that's going to spend their time the next 3 or 4 days and perhaps without a break, keeping public safety of everybody in mind, that these are people that we want to thank because they are the people that also help us enforce our First Amendment right for everything. So I want to give them a head thank you, not behind, because a lot of people gave up their holidays and their vacations and their after back to school time in order to accommodate and make sure that our community in San Francisco continues to be safe. So I just want to give a shout out to them and please publish those conditions. More people know about those conditions on a permit, they'll be less likely to harm and bring harm. Thank you, everybody.
One thing
See you Friday.
Do the conditions apply to counter demonstrators as well?
Permitted.
Chief Scott. Only because I like him.
The question was, do the permit conditions apply to county?
Counter demonstrators who show up at Crissy Field as well, to know this and know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If they're within that space, it applies to anybody that's within that space. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so one thing everyone should know is that National Park Service has a website that they put up. So they put up a website with a lot of information. It's www.nps.gov/GOGA. A copy of the permit is up there, a Q&A is up there, a site map describing the zones, all the street closures, as well as a lot of other information. So regarding questions for the NPS, I refer everybody to that as well as to NPS. And regarding media, David and I, as many of you know, are working many of you know David, are working closely with National Park Service on what the situation will be regarding the media on Saturday. So we look forward to sharing that information once we get it worked out. Thank you.